What's up, Dice Rollers? Paul here, and I'll be your DM for a little while. Let me ask you a question. Where do you go when you feel like you're running out of ideas? Do you go to movies? Do you go to television? Do you look through old adventures? Maybe you're trying to do your own homebrew. Maybe you're trying to add a little value to an adventure you've already bought. You say, I need some fresh names. Do you go to the internet? I don't know. I usually try to do something crazy. So I bought these pack of 10 comic books. I asked myself, I said, I wonder how many ideas I can come up with. And once again, I don't know. I've not opened this. As you can see, it's taped up here. And I'm going to open this up, show you the comics, and then I'm going to show you the ideas that I got from this. And it can, creativity does not have to be a burden. It can be something like this, which is super visual. And listen, sometimes it's hard to get an idea from just text. So that's why I like looking at comic books, because it gives you the visual and it gives you the text as well. So let's go ahead and open this up and let's see what comics I got. Okay, so these are the 10 comics I got. Like I said, I don't know what's in it, but except for the first one, which is The New Warriors, X Factor, Thunderbolts, Justice League Task Force, Justice League America, Legion, X Factor, another X Factor, Thunderbolts, Wonder Man Quits, and let's see what this one is. X-Men Unlimited. All right, so let's go ahead and I'll give you my 10 takeaways, one from each of the comics. Idea number 1, tattoos for fighters. Now listen, if you play in the land of Eberron, we know tattoos are no new thing. But what I like about this is this particular character, Bloodstrike, feel free to take that name, kills this guy and kills this officer here and winds up getting a tattoo on his chest because of it. And it made me think, why not have some sort of tattoo for a righteous or unrighteous kill? Maybe the tattoo shows up, and if it's a unrighteous kill, it's just murder hobos. Maybe a tattoo shows up that winds up becoming a curse of some kind. And then if it is a righteous kill, then why not go ahead and have a tattoo show up that actually is a boon? And this could work for fighters, but maybe especially for paladins. Idea number 2, time travel. There's this portal that's opening up, and they have to go back and fix something. And I know that time travel is a nightmare maybe for a DM, but this is done psionically. It talks about them being linked psionically somehow to where they can all go through the portal and be able to come back because somebody's on the other side and they're linked through their psionics. But time travel doesn't have to be that bad. They could actually go back in time to solve an issue or solve a problem, but of course they can't mess with anything, otherwise it messes with the timeline. Idea number 3, absence of sound. This whole comic here is all about a quiet story about very loud events. So if you want to do something maybe like A Quiet Place, where a town doesn't make any noise, and they warn you, don't make any sound, otherwise it brings a creature. Or if you make sounds, maybe, like I said, either a creature comes and attacks you, or maybe something uses your vibrations of your noise as a weapon against you. Somehow your voice does damage to other things around you or to each other. Plot hook number 4, backstory. Why? Your characters, if you're a DM and if you're watching this, you probably are, that you want your players to develop some sort of backstory. And this particular character here begins to question their reason for being a hero. And I like what he says here. He says, never really understanding that real heroes are often thrust into those roles by some tragedy, some pain in their lives. They don't just wake up one day and decide to put on a costume. The uniform means something to them. It's a symbol, a remembrance of the price they've paid to wear it. And I think that's such a great quote there. Why not put something where of the backstory of a character you're trying to solve an issue or right or wrong, or centered around those characters versus going on some other adventure to solve somebody else's problem. Why not use the backstory of your characters and let them each help one another solve an issue from their past? Number 5, Justice League Task Force, kidnapped. Tim Drake's father has been kidnapped, and Batman and a team of a few other heroes are trying to get him back. So why not use your players' backstories with permission to see whether or not somebody, one of your characters' relatives or something like that, maybe has been kidnapped, and you go ahead and plan on trying to get them back. Number 6, and this may be my favorite, Body Invasion. Rick and Morty, Anatomy Park. If you've seen that episode, then you know what I'm talking about. And this particular issue here is all about them going into a boy's brain, and he is trying to get rid of, he's actually, there's a civilization here made up of these tick-looking creatures, which is kind of a bacteria, and they spend the whole episode, the whole comic here, basically negotiating and having small battles and things like that to get them to leave, to get them to be able to come out of this so that this boy can live. Well, why not shrink down your characters into somebody's body, whether it's maybe a giant, maybe it's depending on the peace between two countries, and or to develop peace with neighboring giants, and one of the giants is sick, and inside that giant is this bacteria that's growing, and inside is an actual community that when you get down in there, you have to use those diplomatic skills to try to get them to leave, or whatever it may be. But what a cool idea to have your characters go inside the body and actually have their adventure inside the body. And you can build a dungeon inside the body and eventually come to this civilization. Number 7, from Legion. This particular issue deals with refugees, where basically somebody's planet was destroyed, and all these new aliens have to come into this new planet, and they have to learn to get along, which requires a lot of diplomacy checks because there's shortage of food, there's shortage of things. And I know this is a very real world, so you want to check with your players and make sure that the topic is going to be okay with them. But let's say there's a natural disaster, or there's war, or something is going on, and there's these new people that are coming into this community, and you have to figure out how these two communities are going to get along. Once again, it takes a little extra work, but I think it might be an interesting storyline. Number 8, from X Factor, Bounty Hunters versus Bounty Hunters. It is Mystique here who is being hunted by Sabretooth. And you could have where there is a bounty on the head of somebody, but there's competing bounty hunters. So you could play a whole group of bounty hunters who are trying to find somebody before the other group does. You want to bring them in alive. The other group wants to bring them in dead. And so through a series of tracking and other investigative means, you try to find who it is you're trying to look for, and you're trying to bring them in alive, while the other bounty hunters are trying to make sure that person's dead, because maybe that bounty hunter has some information about them that they do not want him to share. Number 9, from X Factor, Doomsday Prophets. What if there's a group of prophets trying to fulfill a prophecy in that town? That's what really this is happening here with this character here, who has come to kind of fulfill the prophecies and see the end of the world come about. Well, what if you had like a doomsday cult where they're trying to, there's a list of 4 things that have to happen, and your characters maybe have to infiltrate the cult or stop the cult from achieving these 4 objectives. Number 10, from Thunderbolts, Magic Hacking. And I thought of this, what if a town has these guardians? They have these guardian golems that were created by a wizard, but somebody like a warlock, necromancer, whatever it may be, is actually winds up hacking these golems to then make the town a prison, basically. Nobody leaves, nobody gets out, and basically you have to figure out how to, get rid of these giant golems, or defeat them, or find out who is controlling them. All right. This one stumped me, and I don't have a good one for this one because it's really related to this one. It's really kind of the only thing I come up with, so I am now 10 for 11. X-Men Unlimited, number 12. Soul Swap and the Soul Sword. This particular character, Belasco, he is he's trying to hurt our friend Nightcrawler, who's right here, and basically there's this mother-daughter team who have swapped souls. And you could do this with the permission of your characters, your player characters, and say, look, you go into somewhere and suddenly your souls are swapped, almost like the new version of Jumanji, where you're playing a different character than you had originally set up. So you're actually in the body of somebody else's character and playing them. Once again, that doesn't have to take place over the entire adventure, but it could for maybe one encounter until you figured out how to get back in each other's bodies. All right, and that's it. Those are my 11 of 12 ideas for plot hooks in comic books. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Let's mean you like the video and you want more of them. And be sure, if you're new, hit the subscribe button. That way you get videos like this in your inbox all the time. And but that's it, guys. That's it for today. I hope that you enjoyed it. Leave me some comments down below. Which one of these plot hooks or ideas will work in your adventure? I'd like to hear what your favorite one is. Leave me a comment, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.